Are you both? A lot of great energy in this building. I like it. I've never done stand-up comedy before. I usually just sit down. I sit down, I don't really say anything. I'm kind of quiet most of the time. But yesterday there was so much good energy in the building, and I saw everyone. Everyone was such a lovely bunch of people. I was like, I have to do something to make these people laugh. I have to try something. So I just threw something together last minute. I hope you like it. Cool. So we'll start off with something familiar. A little bit of Yoginath. How do you stump a coolie? What's the question that you ask? Well, where are you from, Prabhu? Well, I was born in New York, then I moved to Vrindavan when I was 6, over to Mayapur after that for a few years, over to London, and then I had a coma for a few years, and now I'm just kind of looking for work, just kind of traveling around, bus tour, FOI, all those things, So that doesn't work for me because I was born and brought up my whole life in Vancouver, Canada. So it doesn't really work. I mean, I consider myself a coolie. I've been to a few Sunday school classes. So, I figured, let's do Kulimela. So how do you stump me if you can't ask me where I'm from, because I'll just say Vancouver, Canada. You ask me my name. So when I was born, my dad named me Ananta Hari. The second day Guru Maharaj came to the hospital, he said, you were born on the second day of Kartik, your name is Damodar. And so that started, and my brother and my dad, they call me Haridas. And my brother used to actually call me Bhojandas because I would eat a lot. And at school they call me Hari, at the temple they call me Damodar. People from Houston Temple, they call me Hari. People from New Jersey, they call me Hari. Namras, shout out to Namras, he calls me Hari Damodar, switches it up. And then last year when I got initiated, Guru Maharaj decided, hey, why don't I combine both the names, Damodar Hari Das. So now it's even more confusing because I come here, finally when everything got settled down and I sit down and it's like, oh hey, the main organizer, his name is Damodar. So everybody constantly just, hey, Damodar, where's Damodar? Where is he? And Haridas too is the organizer of the soccer game, which is also my name. These are both my own names. So constantly I'm hearing, Damodar, Haridas. Where's Haridas? Has anybody seen him? And I'm just replying to all these things. I'm right here. Stop looking for me. I'm right here. So, that's been going on. Thank you for that. But I guess it's not as bad as being named Narayan. There's so many Narayans. There's one right there. Here's the best one. There's so many Narayans, it's crazy. It's like a lot of fathers in ISKCON just decided, hey, why don't I just do whatever I want for the rest of my life and say Narayan at the end of my life and go back to Godhead. It's a lot of ajamas, it's one of those... So one of the things I learned in Sunday school was Dasha Avatar, the 10 avatars. And I was looking back at it the other day, and I fell upon Parshuram. How many people know Parshuram? Parshuram? Yeah, the axe? Yeah, he knows. So Parshuram's main antagonist, his name was Sahasra Arjun. He had 1,000 arms. 1,000 arms. It made no sense to me personally. Like, how do you do? I have 500 arms here. They're just kind of there, and I can't move. They're just there. How do you move your arms? And this guy was apparently a really good warrior. So I'm thinking about it, like, how does he fight people if he can't move his arms? He just has so many. So I'm thinking he probably tapes swords to each hand and kind of just spins. Action, How do you fight a spinning 1,000 swords just spinning at you? You get cut to pieces. Why nobody could beat him? So it was a good system. Like how do you fight him? Hey, Sergeant, by the way, I want to fight you. Okay, give me a couple hours. Let me get my servants to set up my swords on my hands, and I'll come out and we'll talk about it. There's a lot of 1,000 in the scriptures. 1,000. Indra has 1,000 eyes. But he's the controller of rain as well. So does he just like cry a lot? Rain? Does he get dry eyes and need a really moist environment? You know, like for comfort? Like if I were to fight him, if I were to go right now, fight, props to him for the 2 days ago when he just had all that rain. Imagine how hot it would be if he didn't do that. Props to you, but I'm going to bash at you a bit. So if I were to fight him, I just, there would be no fight. I just poke any of his eyes. I don't even have to. Like, I just take some sand and throw it. He's blinded, and then I just punch him, and he's out. That's it. What more can I do? It's crazy. It's like, is this where we get the term, the eye of the storm? Because he just has 1,000 eyes. There's so many storms going on simultaneously in the world, so he just has one at each. Like, what is, like, he's got 1,000 eyes, so he must go through a lot of Visine. A lot of Visine. Those are eye drops. And, I know he's the king of heaven and all, but that shit gets expensive. Like, is this where all our tax karma is going to support Indra's dry eyes? Is this what we do all these karmic activities for? It's crazy. So, now back to avatars. Anybody ever thought about Kalki? Kalki? Last avatar, 426,000 years left. Ooh, 2012 didn't happen. So I was thinking about Kalki, and I'm like, I don't know anything about Kalki. So I went into my library, and I picked up the Kalki Puran. So the Kalki Puran, the first few pages talks about what Kalki will do when he comes. It's very straight and to the point. Kalki will descend, and this I quote, Kalki will descend to kill Malechas, Yavanas, so to confirm, Malechas, Yavanas are like dog eaters, murderers, alcoholics, those types of people. And the third one, the last one, Buddhists. I kid you not, this is what our scripture says. We will come to kill Buddhists. In 426,000 years, the entire world will be run by Buddhists, and he will kill them all because they're terrible. It's not even, hey, let's throw in atheists, because that's what will probably happen. Let's make them all Buddhist. What are we thinking? Right? And so coolies, we travel a lot to Mayapur and Vrindavan, right? Yeah. Vrindavan Dham ki jai! Little known fact, or maybe it's well known, I don't know what people know and what they don't know. Mayapur and Vrindavan are considered to be non-different. It's an offense to consider them to be different. So that stumps me a lot, because if I'm in Vrindavan and I want to go to Mayapur and I want to communicate that to someone, I can't say it without making offense. It's like, hey, we're Praneem, so can I Mayapur? Like, can I say that? Is that offensive? We're going to stay here because both jobs are technically the same? How does, it's just, how do we communicate that? That's something you guys should work out. I'll leave that up to you. And, So how many people here have seen Ramayana by Ramanand Sagar? Yeah? That light has seen it. The last light there. So I think, for me personally, when I watched it, I was always thinking, man, this is a lot of bias on like Ram's side, It's showing Ram's story and Ram's so good and Ram's awesome and all these things. Like, when you think about it, the director's name was Ram Anand Sagar. You got to have some biases when you have the same name as the protagonist. I'm not saying like get Ravanananda to direct it. I'm just saying, just have a Vishnu Sattva name, Just have it, but like Agni Devdas or something, It'll be really musical, but it'll be nice. Both sides of the stories equally, and I think that's fair. So yeah, think about that too. I might offend a few people here. Do we have any gingers in the crowd? Any gingers? Gingers? Juggy? There you are. Oh, we got a few more. Okay. So just close your ears for this one. So it's a commonly known fact that gingers have no souls. Now, how do we take this into account with like ISKCON? Oh, there's Juggies. Don't give me that look. How do we take this into account with ISKCON? Like everybody has a soul, but gingers have no soul. So what do we do? when you're thinking about, okay, I like this girl, she's a ginger, maybe I'm going to marry her, you have to think about what would happen when you have a kid. If she has no soul and you have a soul, the kid is going to have half a soul. Half a soul, people, come on. Like, how does that work out spiritually? It's just going to be the size of 1/20,000th of the tip of a hair rather than 1/10,000th. The soul is Satchidananda, full of knowledge, eternal knowledge, bliss, and happiness. So it's just going to be full of half knowledge, little bit of bliss, some eternality, just semi-eternal. It kind of dies later on, so it can't really go back to Godhead. Like, how does that work? And, like, the soul can never be cut to, Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. So this kid's soul, does he get cut by some weapons as opposed to others? Not just burned by some types of fire, and not other types of fire. Sunburned, that's the one. Moistened by specific to filtered water will moisten him, other water won't. Air from a specific storm will do it. Like, these are all questions to ask oneself before mating with a ginger. And we have one here today who's single, so if you want to try that out, let me know how it goes. Yeah. All right, thank you. You've been a great crowd. Very well.